welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something I think everyone feels at some point, that gap between the life you're living and the life you feel you could be living.
Right. And we're not really focusing on the external stuff, the roadblocks out there. The sources we looked at point inwards. They talk about this big, tangled system of internal resistance. That's what really holds us back.
Okay, internal resistance. So if we're resisting something, what's the destination we're avoiding? What's the goal here?
Well, the sources frame it as achieving greatness, but maybe not how you typically think of it. Not fame or fortune. They use this term, eudaimonic self-actualization. Bit of a mouthful, I know.
Break that down.
Okay, so it blends two big ideas. You've got Maslow's self-actualization, that's, becoming everything you can be, reaching your potential.
Right.
And you mix that with Aristotle's eudaimonia, which is essentially about living well and doing well, a kind of objective flourishing.
Okay, living well, reaching potential, makes sense. So what stops us?
In a word, fear. But it's complex. It shows up in about 5 core ways, these foundational fears.
5 fears. All right, let's get into them. What's number 1? The one that stops people from even starting.
That's the classic fear of failure. You might know it as a ticophobia. It looks like obvious avoidance, procrastination, but also perfectionism.
Perfectionism.
Yeah.
Yeah, the demand for everything to be flawless so you never actually finish, or maybe never even start.
Exactly. It's crippling. And the deep pain there, it isn't really about the external failure. It's the fear of judging yourself harshly.
That internal critic.
Right. But what's interesting is how successful people reframe this. Think Walt Disney, Michael Jordan. They didn't see failure as like a final verdict. For them, it was just essential data. Information you need to learn and get better.
Essential data. I like that. Okay, so say you manage that fear. You start. Then comes something really weird, right? The fear of success.
The Jonah complex. It sounds paradoxical, doesn't it? Why would you fear the thing you're striving for?
Exactly. We see it a lot as imposter syndrome, feeling like you don't deserve your achievements.
Well, it's often not the success itself we fear. It's the consequences.
What kind of consequences?
More visibility means more scrutiny, more criticism, maybe more responsibility. And there's this identity transition. You actually have to become the person capable of handling that success. That can be scary.
Okay, so managing success itself is a hurdle. Then there's the fear of what other people think, right? The fear of judgment, that gaze of the other. Why is that one so powerful?
Because it makes us build this mask, an exhausting performance self. Everything you do is calibrated for external approval, not what's true for you.
That sounds draining.
It is. In creative work, they call it the fear of shipping, the terror of putting your work out there for people to pick apart.
So what's the way through that?
The sources suggest building up your internal compass, learning to trust your own evaluation, focusing on the process, the practice itself, not the applause or criticism you can't control anyway.
Right, focusing inward, which leads us nicely to the 4th one. Fear of vulnerability. That sounds like the fear of being seen, truly seen.
Exactly. It's defined as that state of uncertainty, risk, emotional exposure. It feels dangerous.
But how do we protect ourselves? What's the armor?
Well, perfectionism comes back here. One source called it a 20-ton shield.
Wow, 20 tons.
Yeah, heavy, right. The other big armor is emotional numbing, trying to selectively numb the bad stuff. Discomfort, grief, shame.
But you can't really do that selectively, can you?
Nope, that's the trap. When you numb the bad emotions, you numb everything. Joy, love, belonging. They get dulled too. Vulnerability, even though it feels risky, is actually where connection and courage are born.
The birthplace of belonging. Okay, that brings us to the last one. The fear of the unknown. The big abyss.
This one's deep. It's tied to that existential weight of having freedom and responsibility for your choices. The future is uncertain, and that's terrifying.
And how does that show up?
Often as analysis paralysis. You just keep gathering information, weighing options endlessly because you're terrified of making the wrong choice. You're stuck in indecision.
We've all been there. What's the antidote?
Both Stoicism and Buddhism offer something similar here. Acceptance. It's about clearly seeing what you can control, your choices, your actions right now, and what you can't, which is basically everything else, the future outcome. Put all your energy into the present action, the choice you could make now.
So these 5 fears, They're not separate issues, are they? They seem connected.
Absolutely. It's a system. Fear of judgment makes you put on the armor against vulnerability, and then you project all that anxiety onto the unknown future. It all feeds itself.
So tackling this isn't about, like, becoming fearless?
No, not at all. Fear is natural. It tells you something matters. The real goal is cultivating courage. And the path there seems to involve three key things. First, awareness, really seeing the fear when it shows up. Second, acceptance, stop fighting against the feeling itself. It's exhausting and counterproductive.
And third,
Choosing vulnerability. That means acting even when you can't control the outcome. Dropping that 20-ton shield bit by bit.
right, awareness, acceptance, choosing vulnerability. So the big takeaway seems to be that this greatness, this flourishing life, it's built from many small choices to move towards potential instead of staying safe in what's familiar, which leaves us with a thought for you, the listener. What choice, big or small, are you putting off right now? What action are you avoiding because the known misery, the comfort of your current spot, just feels safer than the unknown promise of moving forward? Something to think about. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.